am filled with the presence. You have no idea what an honor it is for me to be here in this place where people are ready to hear about a God that is real to them, because that's the way that I know it. There is in this room a presence. It's a presence of love and strength and comfort, security, guidance, and it adores you. It does not matter what you have ever done. It adores you completely and forever. Even on days when you have said and done things you so regret, it thinks you are nothing short of magnificent. I didn't always know that. 12 years ago, I discovered that God was real. For the first 50 years of my life, I was an atheist. I was raised atheist. I married an atheist. We raised our children atheist. We didn't talk about God because why talk about something that doesn't exist? And then something happened. At the end of my 30-year marriage, I knew I had to go back to Al-Anon. I had tried going to Al-Anon when my children were toddlers, but I could not find a meeting that did not talk about a higher power. And I just couldn't do it. So fast forward, 25 years more. And I knew I had to go back because this time it was for me. I was not okay. I had run out of answers. I had run out of ways to fix it. So I knew I had to do something for me. When I showed up at my first meeting, I said, I can secretary your meetings, I can make the coffee, I can sell the literature, I just can't do that God part. And they said, keep coming back. But I knew that I needed to stay because there was a broken part of me that I intended to heal. So I got a sponsor. My sponsor told me to make a God box. Now, if you don't know what a God box is, I certainly didn't. You're supposed to take a box and make it very pretty and tape it shut so that you can't take your worries back out. You write these letters to God, your higher power, and you put it in the box, and because it's taped shut, you can never take them out again until God takes over and takes care of your problems. Well, because I was really a very good student, I made a God box. I got a shoe box, I wrapped it with duct tape, and I threw it on the closet shelf, and there it sat. I was only kind of a good student. Until one day, you see, at the time I was an elementary school teacher and I had my summers off. My summers were like time to recharge. Our kids were older, they were off doing their thing, my husband would be working and I had the house to myself. But what I discovered was that when I started Al-Anon, the healthier I became, the more dysfunctional our marriage became. I bet that's not news to some of you. Until my husband ended up making himself sick, and he spent much of the summer lying on the couch. One day, July 4th, 1998, I woke up feeling so agitated. I know now it's divine discontent, but I didn't know it then. And usually I stay on a pretty even keel, but I couldn't this day. I got more and more agitated, and then I remembered the God box, and I thought, oh, yeah, suppose I can try it? So I took it down, and I couldn't say, dear God, because I didn't believe in that. But I did say, I need tolerance. I stuck it in the God box, threw it back on the closet shelf, and attempted to continue to do my day. But my day didn't get any better. And I know, too, that that's on purpose. By the end of the day, I realized that I had effectively ignored my husband all day, and I felt ashamed. During this period of time in my life, I used sleep as an escape. So I thought, okay, he's laying on the couch watching TV. I will go in and I will watch TV with him for 30 minutes. And then I'll go to bed. I'll go to bed and escape. When I went in, he was laying on the couch here. I sat next to him in a chair here. The minute I sat down, I was filled with a peace that I had never experienced before. I had been peaceful before, but there is a difference between peaceful and the peace of the beloved one. I could feel it fill me, and I could feel it all around me, like a bubble. I looked over at my husband to see if he could feel it, and obviously he couldn't. And I never turned away from it. I didn't try to watch TV. I just sat in it, and I thought, what is this? It was incredible. By the time that 30 minutes was up, I kissed my husband goodnight because I wanted to. I had had a shift in consciousness. And then I went to sleep. I slept well all night. And when I woke up, that peace was still there. And I laid in the bed and started to weep with the hugeness of it, because I knew that this must be what people call God. And I was having an experience of it. I laid there and sobbed with the enormity of the presence in my life. I knew three things. One, that what I was feeling was God, was the divine, was spirit. And two, that it had always loved me. No matter what I ever said or did, I had always been unconditionally loved. And three, that it had simply been waiting for me to notice it. I have, from that moment, never turned away from it. There were times towards the end of my marriage I was so scared. I knew I needed to leave. I got married when I was 21. I didn't even know how to not be married. And it got uglier. There were times when I would go into the bathroom and close the door because it was the only place where there was a lock. And I would lay on the floor. I didn't know how to pray. I laid on the floor and said, I need help, because I would be so messed up I didn't even know what to ask for. And you know what I learned? I learned that this presence that by then I was calling the beloved one, it knew what I needed. I didn't have to know. It already knew. So we began having a pattern, and between a few minutes and a few hours, I would get whatever it was that I needed. If I needed courage, then I would get that. If I needed to know what to do with the next step, I would get that. It was not the next step, or it was not the courage that was important. It was the experience of getting it. It was the experience, the direct personal relationship with this essence, this presence. That was what was important. Why would I have turned away from that? Our divorce turned out to be probably the world's most amicable divorce, because it was God-led. It was without blame. It was without anger. A year later, because I now trusted this presence enough to say, you lead, I'll follow. Your will, not mine. A year after I left my marriage, I left my 20-year career as an elementary school teacher. I closed the doors, giving away all of my stuff, and told them I'm following a dream. And they said, and what is that? I said, I don't know. You see, to move forward with the divine one, the beloved one, you don't have to know what's around the corner. You can trust that it will be good, it will always be in your highest interest and for the highest interest of everyone around you. It is trustworthy. I tried out the business world. All I'd ever done was be a school teacher. I didn't know anything about the business world, but I mucked around in it for about a year. During that time, there were periods of time where I had jobs with temporary agencies, and many periods of time where I didn't know what to do, and I was afraid. My money was running out because I wasn't getting jobs. And people kept saying, go back to teaching. Anybody would hire you. No, that is going backwards. I will not. Every single time I was afraid, I would go up to my bedroom and sit in my meditation chair and ask, what do I do next? I discovered that the first positive thought that entered my mind was my soul speaking to me. And that's what I would do. Sometimes it didn't make any sense. Go wash the car. Not take it to the car wash, go wash it. And I would do that so that by the end of that time, I felt like I had done something. It was moving ahead. During that year when I was so afraid, I developed a personal relationship with my own inner voice, my own inner wisdom, because I sought it. It's always there. And now, I have been a minister for 4 years. Imagine that. My family is shaking their heads. However, they say, she's the happiest person we know. But they don't understand it, and no one ever asked me how my day was. That's good. It's fine, because we're all exactly where we should be. I have been minister of my own center for 3.5 years, because that's what God's vision was for me. And I tell you what, being a minister is the most fun I have ever had. It is not hard. My calendar is not busy because I save time for my relationship with the one that adores me. And I listen to its guidance. And that's what I do. You have a whole week of time to reflect. I would ask you to discover within you and all around you a presence that adores you completely, that is seeking your attention, that is passionately in love with you. You couldn't stop the love of a God that adores you even if you tried. Won't you let it in? It is right now speaking to you, whispering to you. Do you hear her? She experiences me in her own way. You experience me in your way. Don't turn away. Don't get so busy. Don't get wrapped up in your head. Be open to my love because it's here. This day, allow to be the most importantly incredible day of your life. Let this day be the day that you let the beloved one in and you start following its lead. Because it is a level of love that will always be trustworthy. Don't turn away. Turn toward it now. Thank you.